So Call of Duty just released a patch update that nerfed a bunch of guns. So in today's gameplay, I'm going to tell you guys the top 5 best guns that use close range and long range. Now, before we actually get into the builds, I want to show you a TTK chart so you actually understand just how crazy these guns are. So what I did was I compared my top 5 to a regular AR like the MCW or the ACR, whatever you want to call it. So if you're going just strictly off of stomach shots, you see how far that difference is. If you go for chest shots, still extremely far gap, neck, head, upper arm, lower arm. Like the guns I'm showing you kill the fastest out of their respective classes. And now jumping over to the SMGs, you know, I have my top 4 right here, and then I compared it to a regular SMG like the Rifle 9. And you guys see the difference. Like it's a pretty wide gap. That's lower arm. We go for stomach shots. Then the Rifle 9 really starts to sneak up. Chest shots, you know, it drops back off. Neck and head, it still doesn't really compete. So if nothing else in this video, at least you guys know the fastest killing guns in this game. So now let's get into the class setups. Getting into it, the MTZ is like the only exception because it did get nerfed. The reason why this gun is still in this list is because it's very easy to use and it is still a reliable 4-shot kill. You can even get away with 3 shots if you get a headshot in that mix. So this is definitely a gun that is still good. So if you just leveled it up, don't worry about turning your back on the MTZ. So next up, what we have is the ISO 9mm. Just checking out the stats, you get a 230 ADS speed with this build, 106 sprint to fire, and damage range is about 10 meters, so still really good. And this one kills extremely fast. Like this is arguably the best SMG in the game. I mean, you can either say this one or the Swarm. Recoil control is so easy to manage. But yeah, this is the build for that. Definitely try this gun out. It is going to be extremely popular. Moving on, what we have is the PKM. Now just wait until you see the recoil control on this PKM. This gun is dummy proof. Like anybody can pick it up and be extremely good with this gun. Like this is me not really trying to control recoil. I'm just holding down the analog stick. Super easy to use. So this is a gun you guys should definitely try out. ADS speed is under 400 milliseconds, so it's still really good. Bullet velocity is over 1,000, which is crazy. So like I said, dummy proof, man. You can't go wrong with that gun. And now for the Swarm. If you guys want to change this build, I'd see a lot of builds with optics on them or maybe muzzles that don't have suppressors on them. So if you want to change anything or add an attachment, I would say get rid of the underbarrel and then go with like maybe a rear grip for more recoil, or maybe an optic if you guys want one. But the stats on this one are still really good. ADS speed is almost under 200. Sprint to fire is about 93. The only bad thing about this gun is the damage range, and it drops off at about 6 meters, which is bad. And that's even with this barrel that we have on here. And that's kind of why I don't really like the Swarm. It's just not that consistent. So if you guys feel the same way, you should definitely check out the ISO 9mm or the SMG I'm going to show you after this TAC-E. So the TAC-E is another dummy proof gun, man. And like I said, they kill extremely fast, the best out of their categories. Now just look at this. Once again, I'm barely even trying. Just so easy to use. And with this build, I really don't recommend a sight on this build because you don't need one. So just use this gun as it is and just try it out first before you change anything on it. Like as of right now, that is a sleeper gun. Not so many people know about it or even using it. But other than that, what we have is the Striker 45, top 3 SMG right now. This one overall is just really good. ADS speed is extremely low. Sprint to fire speed is extremely low. Damage range is almost 10 meters, which is really good for SMG. And overall, this is just a perfect gun. All right, moving on, what we have is the Ram 7. Just wait until you guys see the recoil on the Ram 7. This build is perfect. Now if you guys want to run a suppressor, you can definitely do that. Take off the muzzle and go ahead and do that. But look at this, the reticles are not the reticle, but the iron sight is barely moving. Like that is a perfect build. This gun is going to be a lot of fun for vondel and even big map too. But like I said, if you want a muzzle that keeps you off the radar, just go ahead and get rid of that one and toss on the Spitfire right here and you're good to go. Next up, what we have for the SMG is the WSP9. Now this one is really just a sleeper SMG. Literally nobody uses this gun or even knows about it. But the time to kill is comparable to not necessarily a Swarm because the Swarm is just nuts. But between like that 6 meter where that one drops off and beyond that, this gun is extremely good. And you wouldn't even guess because of the low fire rate, but this build is another nice one. And once again, I mean, if you guys want a sight, I would say get rid of the underbarrel, but just understand that your ADS speed is going to take a big hit because you're almost at 300 milliseconds for SMG if you were to get rid of the underbarrel. But if you keep the underbarrel, then you're at 260, which is, you know, very competitive. For our last list, I'm not a big fan of this Bruin, but I have to admit the time to kill is extremely good. This build is really slow, but the Bruin has a good amount of recoil to it, and it's not as easy to use, but it does make up for it in time to kill. Just check this out. You guys let me know what you think about it. You see how much it jitters left and right? If you can get over that, the gun stays on target very well, but I'm not a big fan of it. And that's just me. Next up, what we have is the snake shots. So they said that they patched it, or like they nerfed it, but for some reason people are getting just one tap with this thing, and that's anywhere between 0 and about 6 meters. It even happened to me earlier today, so I don't really know, but these things are really good right now. And if they don't patch them this weekend, I think the studio is going on winter break, so I don't really know how they're gonna, you know, work around this, if it's even gonna get fixed in time. But these things are definitely gonna ruin Warzone for the time being, so just keep an eye out on these. So as of right now, that's the top 10 meta class setups. If you guys feel like I missed anything, let me know down in the comments. And if you guys found this video helpful in any way, just make sure you guys drop me a like and be sure to subscribe if you are new.